value. They're the world's oldest substance and are made almost entirely of carbon. Diamonds, transparent stones that come from the center of the earth, the sea, and the sky. Now, Diamond Mines on Modern Marvels. From above, it looks like the landing site of an enormous UFO. But in reality, this is one of the most prolific open-pit diamond mines in the world. In a remote part of Botswana, deep in the Kalahari Desert, the De Beers Company and the government of Botswana are digging for gem-quality diamonds. Last year, this mine, the Jwaneng Mine, extracted over 11 million carats of diamonds from 9 million tons of treated ore.
Jwaneng Mine obviously is one of the richer mines, or the richest mines in the world at this point in time.
What you do is you dig down to a certain level. So you're digging down into that volcanic cone, if you like. And you need to get to the kimberlitic part of it, the kimberlite ore. That contains the diamonds. So you're going in at these angles. Now, in order that the walls, if you like, of this open pit mine don't fall in on themselves, you stagger it down in a series of terraces.
Terraces, like something you'd see in the Roman Colosseum, ring the interior of the pit. Mining is done on these benches as well as on the mine's floor. At the base of the pit, ore is removed by hydraulic shovels and loaded onto 170-ton capacity trucks for transport. Waste material is trucked to dumps. Diamond-bearing ore is transported to a crusher. Experts say that 250 tons of rock are mined for every diamond that's recovered. Once the open pit is exhausted of diamonds, explosives are set to break up the hard rock, and miners go underground. In bedrock adjacent to the funnel where the diamonds are, miners sink a vertical opening called a shaft. Horizontal tunnels join the main shaft to the working areas. Drilling takes place toward the diamond-bearing ore. Rock between the tunnels is blasted, removing the support from the overlying ore so that it caves in. Now the pieces of rock are small enough to be removed from the troughs at the production level. Here, the rock is broken and transported to underground crushers before being carried to the surface. Conveyor belts, which were first used in the 1920s, move the ore out of the mine. The first stop is the main treatment plant, where the crushed ore is washed and screened. Next, the concentrate moves onto a building called the aquarium. This three-tower building consists of a floor for sorting, a floor for recovery of diamonds, and a bulk acid holding plant. From this point, the ore moves around in sealed containers. The rule here is, what can't be seen can't be stolen.
Our first principle was to actually separate people, a physical separation of people actually from where there was a high concentrate of diamonds. Our process is actually hands-off. Automation has actually ensured that that happens.
Using high-technology equipment, rough diamonds are automatically sorted, cleaned, sized, weighed, and packaged. Hidden surveillance cameras monitor the entire operation. In this control room, men track the flow of material by computer and watch for a security breach. They can see which doors have been opened, at what time, and for how long. Employees are photographed each time they go through a secure area. In high-risk areas where a diamond might be swallowed, they're also X-rayed. Once the diamonds are fully recovered, they travel by overhead conveyor through the plant and into an area so protected, it's off limits to film crews. Why all this fuss over an element that is totally carbon, just like the graphite you find in a pencil? Because diamonds have been treasured by mankind for over 3,000 years. and because $7 billion worth of raw diamonds are sold every year. That translates into $50 billion worth of jewelry. But of the millions of diamonds purchased each year, few new owners know their rock's true history.
Diamonds have to form at extremely high temperature and extremely high pressure. And the only place on Earth you find this is deep underground, perhaps 100 miles below the surface of the Earth. And there carbon atoms slowly come together. They form larger and larger crystals. We know that some of those crystals may be the size of a soccer ball or maybe a watermelon even.
Over billions of years, at intense heat and unimaginable pressure, diamonds crystallize miles underground. They hitch a ride to the Earth's surface inside a carrot-shaped funnel called a kimberlite pipe. Kimberlite pipes contain minerals, including diamonds. Small volcanic explosions hoist the pipe to Earth's surface at Mach 1 speed. The famous pipe in Kimberley, South Africa, discovered in the late 1800s, was 450,000 square feet across and 3,500 feet deep. Our knowledge of diamonds was acquired slowly. In 1772, French chemist Antoine Lavoisier shattered the myth that diamonds couldn't burn. He focused the sun's rays through a big circular lens and trained it on a small diamond sitting in a glass bowl filled with oxygen.
And lo and behold, after a couple of minutes, the thing began smoking. Then it began smoldering, and then after a while, it was just a little pile of cinders, ashes to ashes, just like people.
He discovered that diamond converted to carbon dioxide, and yet he never made that next step, the step that would suggest that carbon was what diamond is made of, that diamond is simply a pure form of carbon.
The discovery of what diamonds are composed of fell to British chemist Smithson Tennant in the early 1800s.
He took a very carefully weighed amount of diamond on the one hand, and then took the same weight of graphite or of charcoal on the other hand, and burned each of those in the way that Lavoisier had done, and showed that in each case you produce exactly the same amount of carbon dioxide. That proved beyond any doubt that both diamond and this black graphite, the soft material of pencil lead, were chemically identical, even though they looked so completely different.
The birth date of a diamond remained a mystery until the 1880s, because carbon, beyond a certain age, can't be dated. Then, scientists learned to date trace minerals found inside the ancient stone.
It was discovered that diamonds were actually often much older than the kimberlite which they were found.
Kimberlite is just the host of diamonds, the vehicle to get diamonds to the surface of the Earth. At 3.3 billion years of age, diamonds are almost as old as Earth itself. The first diamond miners in India, in the 4th century BC, only saw a glittering curiosity. Miners digging in the Krishna River gravel of southern India thought diamonds grew in the sand.
After the rainy season, people would just flock to the riverbanks and begin sifting sand or whatever kind of material is there for diamonds.
Rough diamonds, which look like pieces of dirty glass, were thought to have magical properties.
These ran the gamut from bringing dead animals back to life, to telling whether your mate was committing adultery, to making the wearer invisible, to giving you courage, to putting out fires, anything you could imagine.
India's diamond production reached its zenith in the 16th century, with a maximum output of between 50,000 and 100,000 carats. But that volume was almost eclipsed by the discovery of great diamond deposits in Brazil in 1725 on the Rio dos Marinos River. Using a wooden washing pan, fine sand and clay was flushed away, and the diamonds were picked out by hand from the remaining heavy minerals. Between